Hello everyone, welcome back to the Nullified Take channel here on YouTube, where we've got the TNT takes for you on Survivor UK. What? We just came back from probably the biggest week in Survivor UK, and it was another good week, a lot of stuff that made me burst out with laughing. But before we recap all of it, I have to introduce one of my favorite co-hosts. She's smart, she's beautiful, she's amazing, she's fabulous, it's the great, the wonderful, the fantastic V! V, how are you?
Hi, I'm all right. Thanks for having me again. Keen to be back on the TNT take.
Yes, whoop, whoop, yeah. Unfortunately, you're not here last week, but quickly tell us, what did you think of the two front runners of the season, Doug and Tanuke, going up back to back?
We thought there was no strategy, that it was going to be back to Survivor 101, and oh my gosh, they love to take out a leader. My gosh, anyone who has any sort of sniff of leadership, they're like, you're gone.
Yeah.
As we saw this week as well.
Yes, we did see that this week, but we've talked about this, at the start, how it was quite basic strategy, but then I feel like we get it's almost kind of like a graph, right? Where it's like you've got nothing, and then you get like a massive peak, and then it's nothing again, and then it's like a massive peak, right? We had a bit of a medium peak, so started the merge, and then with Doug and Tanuke, it was like, oh, giant peak, oh my gosh, then it just fell straight back flat,
Yeah. It's been a roller coaster. It's been an absolute roller coaster, and I think we could blame a lot of that on the edit. I think our initial take at the start of the season was right. Blame it on the edit.
Yes, always blame it on the edit. The editors do not know what they're doing. No. They've done a great job, because I feel like in UK they haven't had Survivor.
Well, the editors don't think we know what we're doing. That's the difference.
Yeah, that as well. I feel like, because especially in UK, they haven't had Survivor for so long, so it's kind of like they have to reintroduce everything back. Like, what is an idol? What is a tribe swap? What even is a merge? But I feel like it's more enjoyable when they just sort of not slow things down for the audience. It's like just have it all out there for the audience. And yeah, so far the season's been pretty great. What's been your thoughts on the season so far?
Again, a roller coaster. I think. I think these players are a lot more savvy than they were shown to begin with. Although we saw a couple of real blunders this week. So,
yeah.
I think the lack of food and the tiredness is starting to get to them. But I mean, I've really enjoyed this season. I think we've had some fabulous characters. I'm still heavily on board the Chris train. Yeah. I think he's the cockroach of the season. And
absolutely.
It's just he's had luck, he's had strategy work out for him, he's had strategy not work out for him, but he's still there, and he has made the season really enjoyable for me. I was sure we were losing him this week. I was positive, but he's still kicking.
He's still here, and as the mighty Gabe has said, we're in the end game now, quoting Doctor Strange. But it's like, it's so funny because with Chris, right, it's like you never think, it's almost like a King George effect. It was like, okay, sure, he's out next week. Oh, okay, sure, he's out next episode or the one after, but he's still finds a way to scrape on through. And I know that when the episode that Lawrence went home, everyone was like, oh, Chris was going to go 100% sure. But was he really going to go? Because like it just seems stupid for the 6 of them to take out Chris and then the back 3-on-3, or just like, Lawrence then join, Matthew, Pegleg, and Hannah.
I mean, there's something to be said for using him as a human shield as well. There's something to be said for that to go. He's on the top of everyone's shit list. Let's just keep him around. So we've got an easy vote each week if everything doesn't pan out. Yeah. But I mean, for someone who has been on the tip of everyone's tongues, and for someone who is in a part of a tribe that really values a resume, I think the resume is going to be a big point at the final episodes.
Yeah.
He's got it. And to me, he's still a threat because he's still got that resume. He's winning immunities. There's nothing about him that isn't a threat, except for the fact that maybe it's nice to be like, oh, well, Chris is an easy vote. We'll just get rid of him this week and then keep the heat off of you a little bit. But, I think that's why I still think, taking Leilani to the end as a goat, I would be keeping her safe against all odds because I'd be taking her to the end because she's just been everyone's friend. She hasn't made any moves. I don't think they'd be interested in her at the very end. So she would be perfect to take.
Well, something that the mighty Gabe has brought up, he's the threat, but will the jury respect him? Well, the thing is when you look at the jury, right? I think with the jury that's there right now, the only person who would not really vote for Chris is Lee. But even then, I feel like Lee might actually respect his game if Chris pitches it in a way of how much he's had to hustle and really fight for it. Maybe Lee would get on board with that train because you've got Ash, who's a game player and a fan of the show. You've got Doug, he's a game player and a fan of the show. Tanuke, she's a big player. I mean, who really knows what Lawrence is going to do, right? So, but I feel like he would still vote for Chris in the end, right? So while I think in terms of like the peg legs and the Hannahs and the Leilanis and Nathans, they might be harder to convince to vote for Chris. But if it's a final 2, it'll be a 9-person jury. He would have like roughly 3 or 4 votes locked in.
Well, see, I think with a bit of distance, this jury seems to be a jury that respects gameplay. I think if Chris can be elegant in the way he describes his point of view, describes his strategy, then I think he could really get them on board because they don't seem to be acting out of loyalty. I think Maddie would vote for him to win. I don't know if Peg would. I think this is even Nathan possibly might. So I think he is a real threat there. He would be at the number 1 of my hit list. But I really hope he gets to the final 2. And if he's smart, he'll take Leilani. And if the jury's looking for gameplay, they won't find it in Leilani. He'll win it all. So,
well, I've actually got a take on Leilani, and I sent this to Shannon Gus as well. So I want people to know that I'm very serious about this take because why would I send this to the top Survivor Global podcaster, right? I think Leilani is playing a good game. Now, hear me out, all right? Yeah, I know if Tom was here, he'd be spitting and frothing in his words. But this cast has not been very strategy heavy, right? It's been very social heavy. You do have your key strategic players like Aren, Tanuka, and Doug, and even Ash and Chris. But majority of the time, it's all social based, right? It's all about making friendships and whatnot. And we do see Leilani that's got good friendships with pretty much almost everyone, right? Like there was talk about how her and Chris don't really like each other, but overall, I feel like she does have a lot of really good friendships, right? And I think potentially if the jury is a bit bitter or nasty, like let's say if Matthew is there, I know that Tanuke, just based on all the facial shots they keep giving her, she's not very happy with Matthew. I think there's actually a lot of people that's left that Leilani was sitting next to. It would be very close or she would beat. I think she beats Hannah. I think is very tight between her and Peg Leg. I can see her potentially just outdoing Matthew. And with Chris, I feel like it's, like surely Chris has to win, right? But even then, there's a chance that Leilani would cop a few votes.
I mean, if there's a bit of jury, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
But she's shown no strategy whatsoever except for be a social butterfly, which is a strategy, a sort of anyone but me kind of strategy is fine. I just don't see the jury buying it at the end. I just don't. I just see them going, yeah, you were an awesome friend, but you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You didn't try anything new. You didn't hustle at all, even when her neck was on the chopping block, and she got eliminated, there was no effort made except to make friendships. So I just don't see the jury buying it. But if there's a bit of jury, absolutely. She's seemingly made no enemies that I can see. So, and I know Lawrence tried that. He tried that really hard and then just ended up pissing off everyone. So
even then, it's like, was that like with how Lawrence, let's quickly talk about Lawrence and that tribal and whatnot. What could Lawrence have really done? I feel like there was nothing he really could have done because a lot of people like Leilani, like Hannah, and like Pigleg were just like, well, I don't know. And even Lawrence was like, well, I don't know. It's really just Matthew and Chris that was actually trying to pioneer, okay, well, who's actually going to receive the second highest number of votes, right? To the point where no one actually even voted for Nathan.
No, and you know what? That first episode was such a mess.
It was.
That I actually had trouble following it. I thought I was going to be busy tonight, so I admit I didn't take notes. And then I got to the end of the tribal and I was like, why did Nathan vote for Lawrence and not Matthew? And I was, so you're going to have to talk me through that one because it was such a giant mess from Matthew blundering the idol and not locking it back up to Nathan playing his idol when actually he didn't need to. And I was willing him to not play it. I could take the temperature of the edit and maybe it was different to the temperature in the room, but I was like, don't play it. You won't need to. You're not going to get a single vote. Yeah. And then of course, he played it for no reason. And I think he was sort of like, oh, I didn't want to, get by just because I had an idol. No, so I'm glad I don't have it anymore because which I was like, bullshit. You just blundered it and you're trying to make it sound like strategy. Yeah.
He's trying to throw some shade on Chris because he played an idol.
Yeah. And I thought he was voting for Matthew based on the Tanuki vote. And then he throws a vote to Lawrence's way because then they all talk about like, who are we going to vote for? And they're all there together without Nathan, who's got the idol. And it's like, it's one of you guys. No, like you shouldn't, this conversation isn't going to be helping anyone unless someone goes, oh, vote for me. I'm happy to go. Like it was insanity. And then they were like, oh, well, maybe we should have a discussion.
Yeah, well, I know that in the Australian Survivor All Stars, there's a player. His name was Dirty Harry. He just played in the previous season, and he was coming in with a massive tiger on his back. So something that he would do to build trust with people is like, hey, put the split vote on me. Put like if they play an idol, sure, I go, but just put the split vote on me. There's no dramas, there's no hassles or anything. Obviously, he was pissing himself. The whole tribal just trying to make sure that person did not find or play an idol. But with that way, people started to trust him a bit more because he was labeled as like the snake, like the cockroach and whatnot, and you know how Australian Survivor edits are. It's like, it's not like the podcast is like the mastermind of the pod. Like, you get what I mean? And so it's so how Harry played that was extremely good, but it was quite funny where everyone who was Vulnerable was having a chat. It's like, oh yeah, we're probably going to have to split the vote, but it's like, yeah, but we're all here. Like, we gotta split it on. And I love that Piglet was such like. I love that Piglet was such like, well, I for one would not like any votes to be on. That was really funny, but
yes.
You know, but let's talk about this blunder, right? Let's talk about this blunder. So basically, it's like a lobster cage with an idol inside, right? Obviously, this was like inspired by the birdcage idol from season 44. And there's a public idol just dangling right in there, and they have to find a key. They'll be able to unlock it. And Matthew and Chris find the key, and it's like, okay, this is great, right? You know, the two main strategic players are now going to work together with an idol. This will be great. Matthew unlocks it, and he's like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the idol in there, so then people won't suspect a thing. But then he forgets to lock it properly, V. He forgets to lock it properly. How can he stuff that up? And then, just by absolute chance or miracle, Nathan's like, you know what? I'm just going to check it out. Just see if there was any actual clue potential around there. And it's like, oh.
And it's wide open.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it appears to be unlocked. It just opens it. It's like, oh, the idol's right there. Like, how do you stuff it up? How do you stuff that up? Like, tell me, how do you stuff that up?
Oh, my
God. Oh, what's your thought process?
And quite rightly, Chris was furious at Maddie, because I was like, oh, Maddie, you're going. I know. Why? Well, look, lack of food, lack of sleep. He locked it. He just didn't put the latch over it. But he thought oh, bless him. Chris was quite rightly steaming at it. And I think if Chris had gone home for it, it would have been, Maddie would never have gotten his vote on the jury. No. But, so then they went, okay, all right. So thank goodness Chris had individual immunity. It's the only reason why he probably didn't vote for Maddie himself. Just based on that. And, I think we saw that sort of that trust building there, that he gave Maddie the key. I think Chris was very much going, I need at least one person firmly in my camp, and Maddie's the guy. And so he's got to play that correctly. And he gave, Maddie the key, and as a show of trust. And, Maddie tried. He tried. Yes. But then we saw Nathan, who was hit list number 1, take the idol. And then the rest of them going, well, who are we going to vote for now? It's one of us.
Yeah.
Which was so crazy.
It was so funny, like watching Chris and Matthew walk to the lobster cage, because Chris was literally like, is this like actual strategy by Matthew? Like, did he plan this out?
Yeah.
For Nathan to
yeah. Oh, and bless him, no, Maddie just was like, I locked it. I swear I locked it. Oh, but you have to put the metal thing over it for it to, otherwise it is just a lock on a open door. So, that was hysterical.
Well, Gabe brings up here, Matthew put himself in danger for that. Yeah. Luckily, everyone agreed on wildcard lines as a vote. Well, here's the thing, right? I think Matthew absolutely would have been in danger, but here's where Nathan stuffed up. I feel like Matthew stuffed up and Nathan really stuffed up, because he went and told Hannah and Lawrence that, oh yeah, I've got an idol, and like, here it is, he's a full thing. It was left wide open. and then he tells Lawrence, oh, I'm thinking either between Matthew or you. And then and then obviously word spreads around it, and then Nathan, he just tells everyone he has the idol. It's like, oh yeah, now I've got the idol, so you can't vote for me. And he acts so like, oh, it was so funny. He was acting so cocky about it. He was like laughing, smiling, having the time of his life, because everyone else was stressing out, all for him to just waste it.
Yeah, would have been fabulous if he'd held on to it. Yeah, and just used as a power move.
I feel like you know, with all of his, you know, like his laugh was so annoying. So I never say that, but the way he was laughing, I was like, shut up. Like, yeah, it was so annoying. But like, just how like cocky and arrogant he was being the whole time at Tribal. If he'd held on to that idol, I would have been like, you know what? That is well deserved. That's well deserved. You can be as cocky and arrogant as you want. You played that well. But no, he just wasted it. Yeah, and then he gives a whole speech the next Tribal on, oh, you know, I'm not someone to hide behind an idol. Or
Yeah. Sure.
Sure. Yeah, but I feel like Nathan really blundered this badly as well.
Yes.
He never...
So you tell me, Mucky,
mm-hmm.
because I missed it. Maybe I was looking at my phone. Maybe I'm just stupid. At what point did Nathan decide to go Lawrence and not Maddie?
It was never really shown, because here's where Nathan went wrong, right? He didn't go to Lawrence and Hannah and just be like, hey, I've got the idol, keep it between us, I'll play it, we put our votes on Matthew. He never said, hey, you know, hey Peggy, hey Chris, I've got the idol, I'm playing it, let's put our votes on Matthew. He just went, I've got an idol, and you can't do shit, you know, like you can't do anything about it. It's I've got an idol, haha.
Yeah.
Sucks to be you, you know, like he never actually formed a plan on what he was going to do with it, you know, and that's why I feel like Nathan really blundered, because he used it as a way to make it through one more Tribal, but it's a kind of thing, you know, there's something that we had discussed, you know, earlier. It's like, I don't know, I think it was with Tom. That's right, it was with Tom. It was, you know, you want to be able to make a move so then you can go an extra 2 Tribals, not one to make just the next Tribal, because then you're still the number 1 target for the next Tribal, right? So how can you set yourself up to make sure that not only am I not going home tonight, I won't be going home tomorrow as well. Yeah. And I feel like Nathan just saw an easy, it's kind of like you've got $5 in the bank account and there's a cheeky chocolate milk for $5, right?
Yeah.
But you know you need that $5 to catch a bus home because it's pissing down with rain outside. But you still choose a chocolate milk because that'll at least ease out, you know, the walk. But then you forget that you live 8 hours away.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much what happened with Nathan.
You're absolutely right. He definitely could have used the idol as a way to get in tight with Lawrence and Hannah in that moment, instead of saying, but Lawrence, I'm thinking of voting you, so just letting you know. Because Lawrence, as we saw, loves to talk. He loves to tell everyone absolutely everything about everyone else, to no protection of himself whatsoever. And so, exactly. It was a massive blunder, and he could have held on to that idol. It would have been a massive power move, and then no.
Like, he was saying all the right things. He was saying that, you know, if I play this, all the votes for me won't count, and my one vote can send someone home. It's like, that's great stuff. But if you go around telling everyone you have the idol, no one's going to bloody vote for you. Like,
oh, bless him. Yeah. I found that utterly confusing towards the end. I was just like, what's happening now? Like, So thank you for explaining that to me. And I'm glad to know I didn't miss when he turned on Lawrence instead of Maddie. He must have just gone with the popular idea of what everyone was doing, which makes me think he knew that no one was going to vote for him, because then why would he vote with everyone else?
I don't know. It's Survivor UK. It's Survivor UK. Like,
it's insane because he didn't have a standout vote that he thought was his one vote was going to send everyone home. So he voted with everyone else. So he knew that everyone was going to vote for Lawrence, but he didn't know it well enough to then not use the idol. So
no, it's Survivor UK, all right? Like, it's this is the show where Shy is the strategic mastermind of the season that we have to swap tribes to specifically take him out.
So that was wild.
Yeah, The Mighty
Yes,
Game.
yes. I think that's
the answer. Yeah.
I think I'm searching for something that is not there. I think you're right, Gabe. I'm searching for something that is not there. He just panicked, and because he was sort of like going, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it. And I was like, oh, that's dope. That's really cool. That's a power move. And then he used it. I'm like, no. And then I thought maybe he'd use it on someone else.
Yeah. Like if he used it on Lawrence, how great would that have been?
Well, then who would have gone home? Because who did Lawrence vote for?
It would have been between Hannah and Pigleg.
That's right. Oh, God.
we had a bunch of confessionals from over right before Tribal. I don't know who I'm voting, but I'm just going to vote for someone to just make sure, because I don't want to vote for Lawrence. And I think Leilani literally said, I don't want to vote for Lawrence, and I don't want to vote for Matthew, and I don't want to vote for Nathan.
That's right. So she voted for Peg?
Yes, and Lawrence voted for Hannah.
Why?
And Hannah was then meant to vote for Nathan. Nathan was then going to vote for Matthew. We almost potentially could have gone like a 2-1-1-1-1-1 or like a 2-2-1-1-1-1.
So then what was Lawrence doing voting for Hannah?
So basically his whole idea was potentially if everyone's, because he obviously didn't know he was the split vote, right? Because nobody was saying anything apart from Nathan. So his idea was his one vote could potentially be the difference between him staying and him going. So if he votes for Hannah, then it could be one Hannah, one Lawrence, or one Matthew, one Hannah, and then
Right. I also feel like Lawrence had this strategy of just anything, but don't vote for the person that's going to leave. So
yeah, maybe.
He, in a roundabout way, he could be never the one that voted for the person who actually left. And then at the end, he could go, "Why? I didn't vote for you to leave. So why are you mad at me? I should win £100,000." Which just pisses everyone off.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was a mess. It was an absolute mess. Gabe is right. It was just no good moves from anyone.
But I found the start of that episode to probably be one of the most funniest things I've ever seen where Nathan was saying how he doesn't trust anyone there. He doesn't have any allies there. But Leilani is right there. And he's talking to Leilani and everything. And he's like, there's no one here on this beach that I can even fully trust. It's like, she's right there.
Oh my God. And then I think it was the Tribal before where he was like, oh, my top two of these people. And Leilani's just like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And even during that Tribal, Nathan was like, oh, thing with Tanuka and Matthew is that we're always going to be, the top three. And Chris is like, hang on. So you've already got 5 3 sorted. And he's like, yeah, well, obviously Lawrence and Leilani part of that 5, but you never know. There's immunities, there's idols, there things that can happen. And then, Nathan was trying to defend himself, there was no plan, but that was my final.
Hey, everyone. So, Leilani, I was never going to take you to the final 3 with me, just so you know. And neither you, Lawrence, and Lawrence is just sitting there like, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I completely understand. But what's also so funny is that, Leilani is like, you know what? I should never have voted for Doug. I should have voted for Chris.
Yeah, well, too late now, hun.
Yeah, it's way too late. And I was just laughing. It's like, could you imagine if this whole great big blindside on Doug got ruined because Leilani's like, you know what? I want to vote for Chris.
Oh my gosh, the thing is, she's just serious. They can't possibly vote for her, the jury, to win because she's just. You would. You would. She's just following the pack. She's a literal goat following the pack wherever they tell her to. And you think that deserves £100,000.
I just think it would be really funny if she won. I really think so.
You'd vote for her out of the comedy of it. For the chaos of it, you'd vote for her. Right.
I would have voted for Shy. Shy. Leilani, I'm pretty sure if Shy was there at the end, maybe the jury would have tried to vote him off, but then realized, wait for the win. Damn.
No.
Really funny comment that Gab brings up of Leilani. Last in line. Yeah,
it just
probably.
goes to show if you go on and be best friends with everyone, you can do whatever, which I think was, how people won in the old days, but not with juries nowadays. But oh gosh, if the UK jury ends up being a best friends bitter jury, like you voted me off, so I'm not going to vote for you to win. I will freak out. I can't with these people.
Yeah, I mean,
basically, if anyone other than Chris wins now at this point, except for maybe Maddie, he fucked up the lobster cage. I'm sorry. No, I love an underdog. I love a cockroach, and so I need Chris to win this series. I need him to win it.
What do you think of if Chris wins? Then that potentially boosts up Survivor UK. It's been more of an enjoyable season because I feel like a lot of times people are like, it's been pretty boring, it's been pretty lackluster. But then if you were to rewatch it, watch Chris's gameplay from start to finish, I feel like overall we would find it much more interesting.
Absolutely. And I told you the reason I loved him from the very get-go, I think I said a few weeks ago, I love a diva who makes big, bold moves that come crashing down all around him rather than the US Survivor lately, which is everyone's too afraid to do anything because everyone's a game bot and expecting the person next to them to double cross them. And here he is doing cartwheels to try and throw challenges. He's being utterly ridiculous. And that's what makes a good season. And, even if he makes to the final two and doesn't win, I've still enjoyed the season. I just hope the jury can see that he has thrown everything out there onto the field. He has left nothing. He has done absolutely everything. The man looks like he's heading for a nervous breakdown. Yeah. And I love it. Whereas the others have been,
I mean, I don't would you be okay with a Hannah win? Because what's Hannah really done?
I think Hannah's been a little bit of she's had the lay low strategy. She doesn't want to make waves. She doesn't want to make bold moves. She wants to be adjacent to bold moves, which I don't think deserves to win. I think Peg has been your typical old crotchety, Rudy kind of player of old school sort of loyalties, credible physicality, winning. If he was to then go boom, 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 winning immunities as his way of getting to the end, then I'd say that deserves a vote because I think that's very valid in itself. But he wasn't even interested in the lobster trap. Like he is not buying into any of the idols, any of that guff. He is keeping it completely old school. I'm going to win on my physicality and I'm going to win by getting sleep, getting food. And so I do somewhat respect that. And Leilani, I think, has just been everyone's best friend, has an anyone but me strategy. And she's going to have to start. Well, now she's actually left on her own because she thought she had Nathan. And, so because Nathan went, didn't he? I didn't write anything down. Yes, okay. I thought so. I was like, oh my God, I can't remember the last few minutes of the last episode. I just don't think, for me, I would be maybe Peg if he then goes on a massive immunity winning streak and he wins it completely old school with loyalty and winning immunity challenges. Then I think that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Well, do you know something that is kind of cool, V? We actually have a very special guest coming. And the reason why I say special guest is because sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't. It is it is the mysterious, it is Mr. I'm going to talk crap about everything. It is Tom! Tom, how's it going?
Can you guys believe I just bought the Olivia Rodrigo?
I love her.
I just bought the limited edition version of Sour, thinking it would have more songs in it. And then I look at it, it just is a different cover, and it comes with a poster. It's got the same amount of songs. Olivia, I love you, but you got to step up the game. Like,
this ain't the 90s, Olivia. You can't be putting posters in and selling it again. She's not Taylor Swift.
Don't even talk to me about Taylor Swift.
I love Taylor Swift.
11 songs. Honestly, like for a limited edition. Anyway, so
Dude, that
now that,
sucks.
now that the important stuff's out of the way,
Yes.
yeah. So have you? I mean, you guys are probably aware of the spoiler, right? That they showed in the next time on Survivor.
I was going to bring that up at the end.
Well, I know. I don't think V picked up on it because for what she just said before.
Okay,
What?
let's quickly talk about it.
Well, it's because I'm such an expert. I think we should get my opinion, not yours, Mucky. Not to mention, I put more effort into this podcast than you do. So
That's right. That's right. I accidentally spoiled Tom.
yeah,
He doesn't accidentally spoil me.
yeah.
I
So in the next time you see Doug crying when the person gets voted out. Oh, who does he care about? Hannah? Who's crying over Hannah?
No.
Chris? No.
Leilani.
Leilani? No. Whoever the other person is? No. Pegleg. So Pegleg's going next episode.
I
actually thought it was Chris going.
Why is he crying over?
Why would he cry over
Doug
Chris?
Hear me out on this, right? Hear me out on this. So,
Rogue's the best player.
actually, Sneaky Steve's the best player, brother. So basically, I feel like because the way that Joel had his monologue, he was like, and with a very brutal tribal, one big player just falls short of reaching the final.
Pegleg's also a big player.
Yeah, that sounds like
He
Peg.
is a big player, but I don't know. I kind of feel like he was talking about Chris.
He's probably the second biggest player, and also there is literally no reason why Doug will cry over Chris going.
I mean, I feel like
Peg's got all the sympathy because he's doing the crotchety old man thing.
Yeah, and he literally has
Everyone
one
cries
leg.
over the crotchety old man.
Like he is like such a nice, wholesome human being. He had a very close relationship with Doug. He's the second biggest player in the game left, and he probably, I reckon, he could honestly win over Chris in a final three because everyone just likes him so much more. Even if Chris has played a very impressive game, so yeah, Pegleg's gone. Especially he's won two immunities, so he'll lose one. Everyone will think he's a challenge threat, even though, like, obviously, there are some challenges that he is going to struggle with more due to his leg.
But having said that, he sort of hasn't.
I think there are some challenges that he's not really a factor in the challenge too much. But like only a couple. But like even then, like Chris is definitely more of a challenge threat than
yes.
Maybe Chris wins immunity and Peg goes. But yeah. Also, come on, Gabe. How did I get this Lee philosophy?
Well, it's because of the last podcast, Tom.
Yeah, but
you're such a misogynist. You're such a pro male.
What did I actually say?
Your top 5 Australian Survivor players of all time were all men.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Haley got voted out. Haley got voted out for winning game. Shawnee is close, but I just think there's a couple people who edge her out. I think like no matter what, like in terms of were we talking about top 5 best players or just top 5 most iconic? So it was best players, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've got no idea. That was last week, man. A lot happens.
Yeah. So obviously like David is a top 5 best player, and you'd have to argue Mark's winning game was like probably the most consistent winning game we've seen in Australian Survivor. I don't know, like Haley is like considered the best female Australian player, and she got voted out in her winning game, which is like literally the biggest flaw you can make in a winning game. So yeah, like sorry guys.
Just like how I'm Steve, you're Lee, Tom.
Tom, you have. I don't even like Lee that much. I think he's cool, but
hey, I'm a feminist and I liked Lee, so
Yeah.
And Tom is a misogynist and he likes.
I think both of us like.
What does it say about?
Yeah, but both of you like Lee more than me. You were saying he played a good game when he played an awful game. So
I liked anyone who could make a rousing speech while waving a machete and have everyone just going. That I thought was cool.
All right, Mariah.
And I do like the alpha male sort of character. I find them charming.
All right, Miss. Jeez.
Because it's just like, oh, bless. I talked about this in the Squid Game podcast. I love the alpha male making a speech. It's just like, oh, but I'm a feminist, I promise.
Also with Gabe going, Lee was a good villain. Oh, so you love Lee, but okay.
I don't think he was even a villain. I don't think he was a villain. I'm sorry.
He was
he
more.
He wasn't
Tom,
a hero.
Tom, hear me out on this. He was more of a hero than Tarzan.
I mean, I think Tarzan is that wholesome old man. Like he was like the peg leg of
the
peg
crotchety
leg
old
of
man.
Survival, yeah.
No. Lee's like the old, like he's like the classic hero. You know, who's Colby? Who's Rupert? You've got Lee from Survivor UK. All right. You know who's Matt Rogers? Who's Lee Castledine? Who is Tarzan in Australian Survivor? You have got Lee from Survivor UK. He tops it all out. He's the ultimate hero. Who's Luke Skywalker?
What has this turned into? Well, see, if they were going to do heroes versus villains as the next season and returning players, I think Chris would come back as a villain.
And Lee is a hero.
And Lee is a hero. That's my take.
No, but here's the question. Is Shy a villain or a hero?
Shy is a villain. He was going to bring that whole thing down. He was...
Yeah, because he's a strategic mastermind. But you also have the heroic story of nobody took him seriously. Everyone was targeting him. He was such an underdog. He was so close to the merge.
But,
you know, because if Candace can be a hero, anyone can be a bloody hero.
Survivor UK, do you hear this? You should definitely make your second season an all-star returnee season.
I do love a returnee season. I do love
the
a returnee.
exact same cast. Yes,
Yeah.
very appealing.
That would be so funny. That actually would be so funny. Who would Richard be? What would Richard be?
He'd be a villain because people thought he gave up.
So,
oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about him. That sucked. I'm still dirty about that, even after all this time. He was.
Ashley's a villain as well because she was like Chris's sidekick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peg would be a hero.
Yeah.
Tanuki would be a hero.
Doug would be a hero.
Nathan would be a villain just because
of
how he was acting at that one tribal with the eye.
Oh. Yeah, he'd be a villain.
Can we talk about flipping Hannah? Oh, I just thought it was just, I just couldn't get. I really off him now. Like,
I know.
He was like, he literally.
Well, Mucky's off him as well. Mucky's off him. I think he was fine. I think if he had not played his idol, it would have been an absolute power move. I would have loved it.
Oh yeah, I really wish he didn't play. But he was an idiot for playing his idol. I don't know how he thought he was going to get majority votes that tribal. But like
Were you listening just before? Because I said he obviously thought he was going to get majority votes because he played his idol, but then he voted for who everyone was voting for. So he obviously didn't think he was going to get the majority votes.
Well, maybe he's won that person out as well.
And Gabe was just like, he's just a bad player.
Here's the thing, Tom. He told everyone that he had the idol, and because my personal thing about it, right, is that when he had the idol, he showed Hannah and Lawrence, but he wasn't like, "Hey, I have an idol. They're gonna put votes on me. Let's take on Matthew tonight." He was like, "Hey, I've got an idol. I might vote for Matthew, or I might vote for you, Lawrence." And then he just shows everyone else the idol, and then just sits down and just laughs. He never actually makes a plan. He never actually makes a plan.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying he's a good player or anything. I'm talking about Hannah here. Like, of course he's gonna. I'm gonna be smug if I just come across a box and say, "Oh, it's unlocked. Oh, an idol. Oh, you beauty." You know, like that. Like he's probably the only player it's ever gonna happen to in the history of Survivor.
Yeah.
Like,
we had a lot of contenders for dumbest moves in Survivor history in that one episode, just over and over.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hannah getting salty about someone being a little bit egotistical and arrogant is like, oh, that you ain't seen nothing yet. Have you watched Survivor ever?
Well, just like it's not even like he didn't really do anything wrong. Like
No.
I'm off him for being happy that he just literally got. Like he basically won the challenge without doing the challenge. Like it's like Jonathan. No, it's like Joel was like, Yeah. I thought that. I mean,
Hey guys, I ain't gonna tell you what I'm gonna do with it, but I ain't going home.
Sorry,
there's
Mucky, I
nothing
think
the whole episode.
You went to more effort to get that idol out than I think Chris did in finding the key.
Because, like, if I quickly show you, I'll try not to show the alcohol I've run next to me, but I've got like this box right here, or like a safety deposit box, and it's got all my like Survivor stuff in it. I've got idols. I got this just stuff I've collected over there. It's got the legacy advantage right here. Ignore the photo of me as a kid back there.
Where'd you get all these from?
And I've got Tony's idol from Kagayan.
Where'd you get these?
From Etsy.
Recreations.
Yeah.
So which one have you got there on you at the moment? Like on your neck?
I've got San Juan del Sur. I have the individual immunity necklace from San Juan del Sur, but it's just not hanging up the monk because I used it for a survivor bit on the weekend.
Read Gabe's message. Okay, geez, I need to overact, buddy. You're not getting any. Mucky, you're not getting any more screen time by overacting. Like this is your podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. So that really took me off guard.
I believe in you, Mucky. I believe in you.
Yeah, I never.
My gosh.
Jeez.
If you make it to Survivor, it is going to be chaotic.
It's going to be great for that one episode. Except it's going to be great for that one episode. But
Good Lord.
Let's get back to Survivor UK. So Tom, we just talked about our thoughts with the whole lobster cage. We said how it was kind of inspired from the bird cage and the most recent American Survivor season 44. But Matthew finds the key, unlocks it, and it's like, you know what? I'm just going to leave the idol in there. I'm just going to leave the idol in there, and it's all going to be, perfectly fine. But then he forgets to lock it properly. And I was saying, it was so funny to watch Nathan just casually stroll over, wondering if there's like a clue around there, only to just be able to casually open it and take the idol. What's your whole thoughts on that whole operation?
I just don't know why. Like, if it was me, I would just grab the machete and just, just like broken it open. Like who's gonna stop me? I'm holding a machete, and then like it's in my hand now. Like, is production gonna be? Oh no, you can't have that. No, seriously, you can't have that. Like, I mean, wouldn't that make for great TV? Someone just like being like literally reading the rules to how to get this idol, and it's just like dropping the letter, grabbing a machete, and just hacking at this lobster. I want to watch that on TV. They always bend the rules when people want to do something crazy, and it's like, oh yeah, this will make good TV. We'll let them do it. So yeah, I don't know why no one just like smashed it open. Like got a rock or whatever.
Yeah, honestly, a good jump on it would probably have done it.
Drop it off a cliff, like.
Survivor Gods.
Yeah, strike me with lightning, I dare you. Honestly, I don't know if Gabe's my friend or my enemy.
No, exactly. I didn't think of that, Tom. That's absolutely right. I think a good swift kick probably could have gotten it open.
A good swift kick, yeah. Not with my track record of injuries. I'd injure myself doing that.
V and I have already shared our thoughts. What's your thoughts on Lawrence getting voted out here?
Yeah, it's a bit. I don't know why they voted him out. Like, I know there wasn't really any options, like per se, but I just feel like old Matthew, yeah, like he literally cocked everything up. Like, I know it makes him seem like less of a threat when it comes to jury time, but at the same time, he has still made moves. I feel like he other than that really big blunder, and it's not like a strategic faux pas or like a social faux pas. He literally just like made like a really careless mistake. Yeah, so like other than that, I feel like he's played a game that the jury would like more. than Lawrence. So I feel like
Mm.
they should have gone Maddie instead of Lawrence personally. I mean, obviously Hannah's no threat. Hannah's a goat. Leilani, I feel like she hasn't actually really I feel like she has like pivoted really well socially, but other than that, I feel like she hasn't actually like made like a significant move herself. And also, she's the only person who got voted out, and I don't think they're going to do another non-elimination. Yeah, because like next week's the final week, so they literally had one non-elimination, which just feels so weird. Like I think I'd prefer 2 or 3, and I hate non-eliminations, than just having one. Like it just feels like I don't know, like she's just
they rigged it for Leilani.
yeah, like one non-elimination, and it was like such a random episode. It wasn't like it came out of nowhere, so this was interesting.
Yeah. I struggle based on that as well, Tom. I really struggle to see, and maybe I missed something, why Nathan was so keen to get Lawrence out. I didn't understand the vendetta against Lawrence for him when.
What a signature! Wow.
I didn't quite understand where that happened. Where Lawrence came higher than Maddie on Nathan's shit list. I don't know when that happened. I missed that.
Yeah, it was really weird how he went out, but with what I was able to gather, about also writing down notes throughout the episode was people did not know. Well, I'm wearing an idol around my neck, Tom, so be careful.
I need an idol.
The nerd might bounce straight back to you. So anyways, oh my gosh. But
go on.
What ended up happening was so Gabe actually brings it up here. Lawrence screwed himself after the Tanuke vote by not being a reliable ally to anyone. So I think he had that reputation of he's not really reliable. And we do see confessionals from Leilani, which is like, oh, I don't want to vote for Nathan. I don't want to vote for Matthew. I don't really want to vote for Lawrence. So she votes for Pig League. Hannah doesn't really want to vote for Matthew. Pig League. He doesn't seem to be that keen on Matthew. And so there's just a lot of I don't know where I'm going to be voting, right?
And Lawrence ended up being one.
And I think it was because maybe Matthew was pushing Lawrence's name as the split. The people were just like, oh, okay, yeah, might as well, because I can't think of anything else.
I understood everyone voting for Lawrence except for Nathan. I thought Nathan was on a full-on Maddie, and then he said, I might vote for you, Lawrence, as well. Like, I guess maybe from the old school sort of alliance.
So they can scramble.
Yeah. I don't know. It's it was a mess. It was a giant mess. That entire episode was a mess. Everyone just did odd things.
Yeah. I mean, I also think like voting out Nathan was also odd. Like, are you really voting Nathan out over Chris? Like,
yeah, exactly.
But Tom, it's because of the way Hannah did not like how he acted at that tribal. That's what made him such a big threat.
If Hannah, I'm sorry.
Hannah should be on Survivor Game Changers. Survivor UK Game Changers.
Like, if Hannah was
like... Are you joking?
Well, Survivor Game Changers is one of my favorite Survivor seasons of all time. Like, it's not at the top, but it's somewhere in top 3. And...
That is the top. Like, top 3 out of 45? Yeah, that's the top.
Yeah, no, because this also including Australian, South African, and New Zealand, and obviously not UK Survivor as well. Survivor Game Changers is different in the top 3, and I feel like of all time.
So,
hand on my heart,
Mucky,
Survivor Game Changers is actually one of my favorites.
You said it's not on the top, and then that's like saying, "Hey, do you want to hang out? Let's meet in the middle. I've got this McDonald's right next to my house. How about we meet there?" Like,
nah, it's like no, hold on. It's like Survivor Game Changers, in my opinion, is a top 3 Survivor season worldwide.
Yeah,
that's what I mean by it. It's like like it's not number one in my opinion. Australian Survivor season 2.
It's not at the
2017.
top, but
But
It's top
it's in the
adjacent.
top 3.
Yeah, top
out of-
adjacent. Top
out of like
adjacent. Yes.
60 to 70 seasons.
So what makes Hannah a game changer to you then?
She made that move on Nathan, right? She saved Chris from being eliminated this round. Chris, who was such an obvious vote, everyone wanted to get rid of him last time, but he won immunity, so he was, therefore going to be the obvious vote for this time as well. But Hannah really turned it around because she really did not like how Nathan acted at that tribal. He was cocky, he was arrogant, and she's like, you know what? I don't want to deal with that. So even though Chris is a much more bigger threat, she voted Nathan off. Plus, also, it's smart. Hear me out on this. It's smart to get rid of Nathan in the spot because it frees up Leilani. And if you're Hannah, you know that Matthew's played a bigger game and Chris has played a bigger game. So therefore, you pick up Peg Leg and Leilani to then go after Chris and Matthew in the next round.
Do you want to read Gabe's comments? See, I think he pitched pretty good.
Nathan is never winning a challenge.
No. A couple more.
Right.
The right move at 6 was Christopher for Hannah and Peg Leg. Yeah, and then
Well, because here's the thing, right? Because then you got Matthew. Obviously, Nathan isn't so keen on working with Matthew, but you got sort of. I guess Leilani's not really tied into Nathan at this point. Leilani just kind of does what she wants to do, right? No one really tells her what to do. But I feel like the thing is that you're kind of stuck, right? Where I think taking up Nathan would have been the best spot because I feel like out of everyone, if Leilani had to be loyal to one person, she would have picked Nathan. So I felt like taking Nathan out at 6 was the right move to then swoop up Leilani. And then the three of you have that common goal of taking up Matthew and Chris because therefore it's more important as well. Otherwise you could delay.
But now there's 2 with Matt and Chris and 2 with Peg Leg and Hannah. Hannah has just taken out Leilani's number 1 and basically last ally. I know they weren't super duper close, but that was really her last ally. So now screw Hannah for screwing me over. I might want to go over to Chris and Matthew. Also, I have a relationship with Matthew already.
But hear me out on this, right? Though, Tom. I think your point is extremely valid, and I think it would be a really good point. But I think you're forgetting it's Leilani. She got voted out by her entire tribe unanimously, sent to the other tribe, and she still flipped back to work with her tribe because she loves them.
Yeah, and then Hannah from the other tribe voted out her last close ally from her original tribe that she loves so much.
But I feel like if Hannah has got that connection to Leilani, if Peggy's got that connection to Leilani, they're fine because they haven't really shown us really who Leilani's sort of tied with, sort of to see her with everyone. But if they do have a close enough friendship with Leilani, they could easily just pull it to their side.
I think it was a shift move. I mean, you honestly could have voted out someone else other than Chris or Nathan just to weaken the opposing side, just to make sure you're in a better position for the next step. I just don't think Nathan was the best option at all.
Plus, I think as well, Kirsty took both Hannah and Peg Leg onto the spa award, which I want to say that's not really a spa; it's a shower in the ocean, right? There was no bloody spa, but I do think they're also thinking that Chris is also kind of keen on the idea of all 3 original blues potentially at the end or going as far as they can. Obviously, Chris has got his own side thing with Matthew as well, but I think that's another option for them, right? So by taking out Nathan, they've guaranteed themselves more options where they've got Chris, they've got Leilani, or if Matthew wants to make a big move on Chris, Matthew can also come to Peg Leg and Hannah because he's worked with them in the past as well.
Gabe says Leilani is the king or queen maker next vote now, but
I mean, she always has.
Considering the only other queen, she doesn't count herself because she makes someone else the king or queen, so she's out of the question. And the only other queen per se left in the tribe is Hannah, and I think we all know no matter what, it's physically impossible for her to win this game. Like if she was against a dead rat, I'd vote for the dead rat because like it's probably done more than her. It's lived a full life and then died. I'm very unfortunate about that rat. But like, what has Hannah done in this game other than vote out
I
Nathan? Oh
agree.
wow, yeah.
I agree, Mucky. I'm sorry,
And
with
like,
Tom on this one.
and the edit isn't favorable to her either. I feel like every time I see her like actually on the screen, she's either like complaining about someone being happy they found an idol, or like crying about how like it's hard. Like I mean, I don't know what she's like in real life, but the edit has not like made her like a very likable character at all.
Yeah, I'll admit, in terms of character, she's just there, right? I don't think she's winning the game, but I personally think voting out Nathan, it gives her and Peg Leg more options from the final 5 onwards than what it would have been if Nathan was still there.
Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
another really important point.
Yeah.
So, limited edition. Here's another thing about it. On the
God.
on the front, it says includes the hit songs "Driver's License" and "Deja Vu." This album also had "Traitor," which peaked at number 9, and "Good for You," which peaked at number 1, and currently has over 2 billion streams on Spotify. How does "Good for You" not even get a mention on the includes the hit singles? It was more successful than "Deja Vu," and like if you have 4 unbelievably successful songs on your album, wouldn't you say includes la da da and da 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 and da 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 and da da da? Like why are you underselling yourself, Olivia?
I'm still tripping over the fact that there is someone in the world that still purchases CDs.
Well, I
didn't
believe.
realize.
Well, I think it's unfair because Spotify gives just the most unbelievably low amount of money to artists per stream, and yes, the super successful artists like Olivia still make a good amount of money off streaming and all that, but majority of artists make next to nothing. So I think it's a good practice to pay for your music because considering how much money I notice as a musician, how much money it costs to actually make one song, as well as time and effort and all that. And unless you're unbelievably successful, you're not going to make a penny from it. You'll probably lose money from it. So I like to buy CDs, even for the big artists like Olivia. Like it's not like I only buy albums for like little known artists who no one knows about, and then just stream the rest. I mean, I still have Spotify. I still stream the albums, but I also buy the CDs as well to show that I've purchased the music.
Well, good for you with a 4 and a U. Very well done. What were we talking about before that? Survivor UK, that's right.
Tom is a noble hero. But
so do we think that we've got are we going to a final 3, do you think, in front of the jury?
I think so. I think it's a final 3 with an 8-person jury.
Yeah. So, yes. Yep. The next episode, someone goes, and then the finale is just the final 4. Someone gets booed, and then there's the final jury.
The final jury. I'm surprised considering how old school I thought they'd go to a final 2. But I think you're right.
I mean, they could potentially do like a 2-hour episode and do final 4 and final 3 and then final Driver Council. But nah, I don't think they would. Yeah. Because I know that
I believe the 2 episodes are coming out on my tracker, which has been proven to be wrong many times. The 2 episodes are coming out on Sunday together instead of Sunday and Monday, as it's previously been. So, take with that what you will.
I mean, I personally don't watch them until the day we do the podcast. So so much has really changed.
I wonder if Mucky can figure out how I managed to watch both episodes in completion, despite the fact I was at work all day today, and I hadn't watched them. Figure out that riddle.
Just listen to them. Did you just listen on your headphone?
I mean, I currently listen to my AirPods at my work. It's a very, very dangerous job. You need to have your wits about you, just like Survivor.
All right.
Maybe I was on Survivor today.
Maybe.
Because you know how at the end of the day, the mayor.
Are you the editor of Survivor UK? Is that how you know?
It makes sense. That's why you sing those pop songs.
Yeah, because
you chose the music.
Yeah, that's why I love it so much. So what if I was on Survivor right now? I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, all the contestants go and stay at hotels afterwards because it's not real.
It's a
So-
scripted show, yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually day 37 at the moment. I'm getting pretty close to the end, and I'm not that spoilers, but
Hannah's going to pull
Yeah.
off a mask and it's going to be you this whole time.
No, I think it's Leilani. It's Leilani. Thomas with Leilani this entire time.
I mean, I look good for my age.
Oh my gosh. I
No.
knew it.
No,
Yeah,
She's going to pull off a mask and it'll be Tom this whole time.
No, guys, I was definitely Lawrence. I mean,
No. Tom is Leilani. If there's one person who would play a really bad game, it would be Tom.
I thought you were going to say I thought you were going to say play a really short lady who'd be 6 foot Tom.
Well, I mean, I've never seen you in person yet, Tom. So how do I know if you're actually 6 foot?
I'll never forget when you told me when you first saw Chris and he was jacked. I'm like, what?
Oh, he is jacked. He's
Yeah.
actually jacked.
Mm.
Like really jacked. Like I almost went, wow. Like you know, like I mean, wait,
You almost groped him.
hang on a minute.
I almost went, wow.
What I did was like grab his muscles. You know,
And
like
I'm a
his
misogynist.
biceps. Oh my gosh.
I feel like misogynist would be okay with just doing that, and I'm not okay with that.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
But anyways,
Anyway.
anyways, Chris is really jacked. I was really surprised. He actually is
Anyway.
jacked. But anyways,
Anyway.
Survivor UK, right? Survivor UK.
Yes.
So,
So Peg's going next because Doug's crying. So we know that,
And then-
according to Tom.
Gabe? Sorry. Did you read his latest comment? You think V's winning out of the three of us? I'm sorry.
you might not have Survivor UK.
No disrespect to V.
Thank
but
you.
Wow.
Thank you. Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
if V makes the final 2 against Tara from season 2 of Australian Survivor.
I would win. I would win everything every time.
Tom, who's a bigger goat, Hannah or Tara?
I think it'd be like you're going to give an option between like someone and then V. I'm like,
Oh, I would so be the goat. I'd be just such a people pleaser. I'd be like,
yeah.
whatever you say.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't
just
imagine
like
like V making the moves. More so V being like roped in to make the moves.
Yes.
Like,
And I
as
would
in-
give up so early on every challenge. I'd be just like, this is too hard. Okay, bye.
Yeah,
I'd be
like-
like, they'd have the Sandra bench, they'd have the V bench.
Well, Trust me.
Tom can be positive or something.
trust me, Gabe. I don't think Mucky stands a chance. Mucky stands a chance
What?
either. Like
I
he's used.
do stand a chance.
That being said, if
You
Mucky
would be
somehow made
dumping
it,
out rice.
if Mucky somehow made it to the end, I think he might cop a couple of votes out of sheer like how did that
Sympathy.
happen? You know,
Yeah.
no, not specifically. Wait, what? Like that guy got to the end? No, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like come across as arrogant, but if like I'm not
Yes,
if I'm not the
no.
most likely to win out of this 3, then wow, I think I
No,
might cry myself to
I'm-
sleep.
Well, all I gotta say is I'm the one with the idol. V's got the social game. What skills do you have, Tom?
Okay, I just realized who V reminds me of as a Survivor player.
Oh no, Sandra, except not winning. With the
Yeah.
sit-out bench, basically.
Because you're the person who like cuts people and like burns their clothes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No, I was thinking more Christy? Yeah, Christy from Blood vs. Water, the one who made it to the end.
Chrissy.
Christy. Oh,
Yeah,
Christy.
Christy,
Yeah, I got Chris. I always get Christy and Christy mixed up from season 1.
Which
I mean,
one was
typically-
that?
She was the one who went all the way to the end, and she had no idea how to play the game. She didn't even know like what like tribal councils or anything. She was just like a very social butterfly, and like everyone like liked her, and she just made it to the end and had no clue what was going on.
See, the problem is making it to the end would require me sleeping on the ground for more than a month, and already I'm out. So
I can sleep.
I don't
on
think I'm
anything.
making it. I'm more suited to Big Brother than I am Survivor, 1000%.
Yeah, Gabe, you're gonna get a sleep when I'm on Survivor. You're gonna get a montage of me sleeping in random places, and Like, you're welcome.
Which I was very impressed with Leilani
I-
doing a tiger sleep on a tree when she was talking to Nathan. I thought that was very impressive.
Well, she's super like, flexible, chill, yoga.
Oh, I loved that. I was just like, yes, queen, sleeping like a tiger.
I think
Well,
if
I'm not
Not gonna
anyone,
win.
I think if anyone was like, yes, queen on my tribe, they would be voted out, like regardless of gender or anything. But if you're yes, queen, and if anyone did the Erica season 41, oh my god,
Oh,
like
yeah.
when she
You're
breaks
just
the hourglass,
brutal today.
if that if
Gosh.
there's so many things that people would do, like they could do, while out on the island that would give me enough like to want to vote them out. Like so
Gosh.
many things.
Speaking
Endless
of
list.
villain,
I don't even know all of them, but like once they happen, I'll go to the camera and be like, guys, we're voting out Jeff today.
I just
you'd
got
be
to
like
quickly
Hannah
point out-
saying, I don't like their attitude, so I'm voting them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it's more like this person's insufferable, and I wanna be happy-go-lucky Tom while I'm here. So
Oh my
eliminate the insufferability.
gosh.
There's a lovely comment here from Gabe. I would consider voting Mucky because I'd be amazing at fun for.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you, Gabe.
That's
Yes.
that's literally what I said. He'd cop a few votes from that factor alone.
No,
And-
I'll cop all the votes. I'll cop all the votes, Tom.
Perfect game.
In episode 1, he'd cop all the
Perfect game.
votes.
Yeah.
From the first episode to the end, I copped all the votes. I found an idol every single round.
Oh my god. Anyway, Survivor UK. Right.
Okay, so,
we have to.
all right, so we've got 5
I have
people
just
there.
come from watching The Crown. I agree. I wish we were talking about The Crown instead.
So, we've got 5 people left. Peg Leg, we're pretty certain goes up next.
Yeah.
Who goes at 4?
Oh, hopefully Hannah or Leilani, but I don't know.
No one's voting out Hannah for any reason. Like,
Well, I'd definitely
That's
take
what
her or
makes it
Leilani to the end as a goat. If I'm Chris, I'm not
Thank
taking
you.
Maddie to the end. You know?
And
If
if
I'm
you're
Chris,
Maddie,
I'm-
you're not taking Chris to the end.
No.
I feel like Maddie or Chris wins immunity, and then the other goes.
Yeah.
Just coming from Chris or Matthew, I think. Yeah. I think yeah, that's right. Thomas.
That's true.
Yeah.
Christopher,
you
yeah.
should
I
see
could,
the strategies I've got like already planned. It is I've got a strategy for
pretty
every.
basic.
Yeah.
Tom's game plan is to do exactly what Tara did and start
Yeah.
playing the game at the final 5 by voting out the person everyone else wanted out as well. But
And let's not forget, I'm also going to get voted out somewhere in the game, and then return, and then like
Yeah.
come
screw over all the big players.
and then focus on being ungrateful to my tribe in that moment, as opposed to being grateful for the fact that I'm like one of like 2 or 3 people in a 24-person cast who miraculously get saved in a vote. Yeah, that's
yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're right. Tara is my idol. That's who I plan to play like. You got me peg-legged. That's what you got me.
I have. All right. So who do we think is going to take this whole game though?
Honestly, if someone can take Chris out, then that's very impressive. If that would, I'd be very impressed because he's an absolute cockroach. And I think absolutely him or Chris or Maddie have to go next for the smart move. But I don't know. I don't see Peg, Hannah, or Leilani making smart moves. I see them following the leader moves. So I don't know. That to say, I don't know.
Well, we know peg leg goes next. So either if it's a final 3, either Chris or Maddie wins, depending on who makes it to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Chris. I mean, I just don't think Maddie's got like much of an edit like so far. So I can see Chris winning final 4, and then he goes on to win the season. Like Hannah's got no chance of winning, and I just feel like Leilani would also have a very tough time winning as well. I don't really know who's voting for her, especially. Yeah, like.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this jury is going to be all about the resume.
Yeah, the ending's wide open. Even Shan and Gus, not even Shan and Gus could pick someone. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Is it
it's
wide
gonna be
open?
tough. I mean, I think there could be a chance that Chris goes final 5 instead of Peg Leg. I mean, that's what I just personally believe.
What?
You know what?
Should we make a wager?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's make a wager. Yeah.
So if Peg Leg goes, you have to do something twofold, Mucky, because both V and I believe Peg Leg goes.
Okay.
And then, what should the wager be? Gabe, and you can also put any suggestions in the chat if you have any thoughts.
Yes. For those watching, put your suggestions in the chat, or if you're watching this afterwards, put some suggestions in the comments on what you think the risks of this wager should be. But what's I going to say? Also, we should put a wager on who wins as well, because I think Leilani's going to win. I'm going to stand by it.
Okay, so you think Chris is going next and Leilani is winning?
Yes.
That's the hill you're going to die on.
There's the hill I'm going to die on.
What about Gabe's hill?
Yeah, I would love to know what Gabe thinks.
How's Hannah how does Hannah physically win this game? Like, I need to know how she wins. Does everyone get the flu? And she's the only one who didn't get the flu, so she wins?
I mean, Lawrence.
No, I agree. Yeah, for Lawrence, bless him.
But he was showing in the next one, so he's fine.
The hill I'm dying on is that Peg Leg goes next episode and Chris wins. That's what I'm dying on.
You only know the Peg Leg thing because I brought it up.
I know, exactly. Exactly. I'm really glad for that information. Thank you.
How about you, Tom?
Yeah,
well, I think Chris is gonna win, and Peg Leg's gonna go out next. I think.
Right.
There's two of us against you.
So what is the bet? What is the wager?
No, I don't know.
You have to give us all your Survivor merchandise.
$100 million.
Even I don't have that much money. Gosh, I don't think I'd ever.
Even you? Wow! If you don't have it, no one must have that much money.
Now, what is something?
You can send Chalky Milk to us in the post, and hopefully it'll be okay by the time it gets here.
I've actually got a lot of alcohol in my fridge. Can I just send that over? I need to get rid of it. Sorry, I'm not an alcohol. I don't normally drink alcohol, but since I've got so much left over for my 22nd, I'm just trying to get through it as much as I can.
Yeah, you can send that through. I'm sure that'll be fine in Australia Post.
Yeah. Sure. Send it to Tom because I'm sober, so I won't be drinking it. So you can send it through to Tom.
I'll send it all through to Tom.
Wait, haven't you got it? No.
Yes, I do have a 5-year-old, and I don't drink. It's very hard.
No, I was gonna say, haven't you got a 5-year-old like to give the drinks anyway?
Oh yes,
yeah.
That'd be amazing. Hannah could argue she was a strategy person. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
She could argue that, but it's not true.
Yeah, but no. So what is the wager? What is the bet? Are we going to decide on anything now, or should
I think we're going to have to think about it.
Yeah, we can message each other in the week, see if any comments come up. Gabe, feel free to chuck them in.
Yeah, like Gabe, like Andre, to all the other listeners out there, chuck in the comments below what you want the wager to be. Do you think I should give all of my hundreds and thousands of dollars of well, not exactly 100,000, but very expensive Survivor props away, or should I give all my free alcohol when it gets Mucky's idol?
I love that because there's no negative stakes for us. Like if Mucky wins, he just keeps something he already owns. I love that.
He just keeps something he already owns.
No, it has to be something that they can give me and I can also give them.
Olivia Rodrigo CD. And a Mariah shirt.
Yeah.
I want the poster. You get the poster. Yeah, you win the poster.
The poster.
There is a chance also that none of us are right, but we don't know about that.
No, we don't. But yeah, leave all
I
your
think it
thoughts
needs
down.
more thought.
Yes, definitely. So to everyone watching, leave your thoughts down in the comments, and we will officially decide on something before the finale comes out. But I just want to say thank you all so much for watching this stream tonight. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button down below, just like how Tom is going to smash that CD into a CD player to bang out some amazing, fantastic music. Yeah, thanks so much everyone for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and tell us your thoughts on the season so far. Who do you think is going to win? Is Pig League out next? Did Survivor UK accidentally spoil who's out next? And what should we wager for the bet? Thank you so much, Gabe, for being so interactive in the comments. And thanks so much to Tom and V for being here on the podcast. Thank you so much, everyone. God love you and leave you, and have a good night. Right. Bye.